Hey, everybody. Welcome to Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. So listen, I wanted to come on here today because I was watching this guy's, he has a YouTube channel, and his channel is, I pinned it in the link. So you guys, in the description, so you guys can go and look at it, or go, like his channel, support him. But he was making some really interesting, points about Jay-Z, Rockefeller, and all of the people who came to Jay-Z or didn't come to Jay-Z. They were independents and were offered millions of dollars. Some of them are alive. Some of them are no longer alive. But they came to Jay-Z, or Jay-Z came to them, and they turned it down because of various reasons, which I find very, very, very fascinating. So I want to talk a little bit about that today. And also, Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope everybody out there in the YouTube world and YouTube streets had a Merry Christmas and are enjoying today. It's currently storming in Houston where I am, but shout out to everybody everywhere all over the world. Someone is in the chat, says, hey, Chanel. Young RZA, aka Drip King. Oh, hey, Mr. Drip King. He says, Chanel, I'm doing good, fam. Oh, that's good. Are you having a live anytime soon? I'm curious about that because I haven't been back. I haven't been able to catch a live. So let me know if you are. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little. Oh, let me just say this. Everything on Chanel's Reality is, in my opinion, is for entertainment purposes only. And it is all alleged. It is my opinion that Jay-Z is not innocent by far. But I just thought it was interesting, the chronicling of some of Jay-Z's career in terms of how Roc Nation has either swindled people and or sent people contracts that were shady, but sent those contracts to people who were independent and was like, nah. Like what did Rosa Parks say? Nah. When they wanted her to sit on the back of the bus that one day, she was like, nah, not today. So I thought it was very interesting. So let's listen to this one guy. What's his name? His name is louaista. I might be saying that wrong, so I apologize in advance if I'm saying it wrong. But I thought his perspective was very interesting. So I'm going to share my screen and let's get into it. Let's see.
Accident. However, many people believe that reaching that level of you don't become a billionaire on accident. However, many people believe that reaching that level of wealth often comes with a few skeletons in the closet. Recently, the high-profile prosecution of his longtime friend Diddy has put Jay-Z's past business dealings and industry interactions under intense global scrutiny. This has led many to ask, what happened to the artist who rejected Roc Nation? And it's not just his well-documented conflicts with figures like his former partner Dame Dash or R. Kelly being brought back into the spotlight. Because now, people are looking at the amount of people who refuse to sign with Roc Nation only to see their careers falter in the aftermath. Or, in the worst case scenario, they even lost their lives. It's your boy louaista, and this is what happens when you say no to Roc Nation. Among the biggest earning entertainment companies in the world today, Roc Nation has grown at a rapid rate. Since their initial founding in 2008, they developed one of the most impressive rosters in music management while dropping albums from the likes of J. Cole, Rihanna, and of course, Jay-Z himself. While they have their critics, they are always praised by those who roll with them, including female hip-hop superstar Megan Thee Stallion. After signing to the company in 2019, the self-declared hot girl coach has always saluted Hove and the team, including its CEO, Desiree Perez.
It just felt like I was in the right spot. Like I said, I was manifesting a lot of stuff for myself. Never did I ever think that I was actually going to be managed by the people that I looked up to. It just felt like a big family. They're just so intelligent. Like they've been through everything. They still going through it right now, but they just know how to carry it. And I'm learning from the best. I feel like I'm in the right spot. I'm in the right position. I ain't never felt so like safe in a situation where I feel like these people got my back, and I just see how much they grind and how much they hustle and how much they let all the talk and whatever else people gotta say just roll off their back. I'll call Jay or Des. Des is the woman who really run shit at Roc Nation. Right. And I'll be like, they saying this about me. They got me fucked up now. And they'll be somewhere on the island like, why you even care about that? They tripping. Like.
And while that's exactly what Megan would want to have in her corner, there are rumors that the label flexed this power to make life very difficult for a man who was not just an enemy of hers, but a man who had turned down the opportunity to sign with them. Back in 2020, Tory Lanez was on a high when he attended the Rock Nation brunch. In May of that year, he had managed to free himself from his label at the same time that he had reached the peak of his commercial success. So when he pulled up to the famed annual event, he made quite a splash alongside none other than Megan. He seemed to hint that he was being courted by major labels such as Rock Nation. To be 100%, there's so many labels offering me so much money, like millions of dollars, he said. I've gotten offers that are life-changing, but I don't care. I already own my master's in publishing and everything, so I don't see any reason to give that to somebody else. But no shorter than 2 months after he was churning down these major deals, Tory's life would fall apart. On the night of July 12, 2020, Los Angeles Police Department officers from the Hollywood Division responded to a call regarding shots fired at around 4:30 a.m. Lanez was pulled over and arrested for carrying a concealed firearm in his vehicle. Meanwhile, Megan Thee Stallion, who was present during the arrest, was taken to the hospital because of a foot injury. According to them, Lanez caused great bodily injury to Megan. From there, a bitter legal battle ensued, which I've talked about at length in other videos. But why this is relevant is because throughout the course of the legal process, which would eventually lead to Tory getting a 10-year sentence, he insisted that Rock Nation was trying to prevent him from telling his side of the story. Otherwise, there would be consequences.
2 days after that, I get a call from Rock Nation that says, yo, we heard you're gonna make a statement about what happened, and it'd be in your best interest if you don't make that statement. I'm like, okay, I don't understand what the issue of me telling my fans, like, yo, look, it's not that serious of a deal. I went to jail for whatever. It's like, I didn't get for that 2 days why that was an issue. 2 days later, TMZ report come out.
This wasn't even the only time that Tory alluded to this. On the track Sorry But I Had To from 2020's Daystar, Tory referenced the incident as well as his own business dealings with Jay's company. I made too much money with Rock Nation for them to be thinking I can't correlate the fact that it's only rappers out your roster hating. Contemplating these thoughts in my head, like, how the fuck you calling me threatening me not to make no statements? On another track entitled Bittersweet from that same project, he went at Hove directly and insinuated that he was hurt while also taking shots at the company's legal team, including Jill Scott. It hurt to say them words about Rock Nation management, cause Jigga whole career, I've been a fan of it, and I'm just pissed about the way they handled it. I worked for this for years, and out of nowhere, here comes Jill trying to come smear campaign and damage it. Although he was eventually found guilty, the notion that Rock Nation was somehow involved has persisted, as his father took up the fight. In an emotional speech outside the courthouse, his dad said that Jay-Z and others ought to be ashamed of themselves.
You want to know how I feel? I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I got some names that I want to call. Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Rock Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men, and you're still doing it.
Even from behind bars, Tory's insistence that Rock Nation interfered will not subside. Most recently, it was the churn of his own legal counsel, Sean Hawley, who he believes had a prior relationship with Rock Nation before becoming his lawyer. In his complaint, he called for her to face disciplinary action over what he described as serious ethics breaches, and demanded a refund of the hundreds of thousands of dollars he had paid her. This followed allegations that she instructed a DNA expert not to conduct tests on the gun involved, and abruptly withdrew from Lanez's defense just 5 days before his guilty verdict, despite being paid nearly $300,000. In addition to his quest to take down Hawley, he also spoke out against Desiree Perez, CEO of Rock Nation, who he believed played a role in assisting Megan with her statements to the police regarding the 2020 shooting incident. At the moment, Tory isn't eligible for parole until 2029. But if how he feels at the moment doesn't change by the time he gets out, you can bet he'll be coming out Rock Nation's next on tracks and IG lives as soon as he's out. While Tory has hopes of turning his life around in time, not everyone that previously turned down Rock Nation is so lucky. Because for a rapper who went by the name of Young Dolph, his time was tragically cut short. Allegedly. A mainstay of Memphis hip-hop, Young Dolph was a hugely talented rapper that delivered anthems for the streets over the course of a 13-year-plus career. And if you don't know anything about Dolph, you know he's a rapper who retained his independence at all costs, regularly shutting down rumors that he'd signed to labels that were trying to court him. For the last fucking time, I am not signed with nobody and never have been. Been independent my entire career. The leader of his own paper route empire, Dolph may have gotten cosigns, but he never had another boss other than himself for the entirety of his career.
It was just because of everything, bro. You just don't know. Bro, people tell me, Dolph signed with Grand Hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never been signed to Grand Hustle. That my dog. Like, shout out to T.I., that's another nigga like I salute, respect in the game. Dog signed to CMG, yo guys. No, I ain't signed to CMG. And the most out of all of them, dog was signed to Brick Squad. No, you know what I'm saying? Gucci, that's my dog. That's my trap, bro. I mess with him. You feel me? Like, he showed me a lot of love, so I showed him love back. Where I come from, man, anybody show you love, man, and show you that they want to see you win, you can't do nothing but embrace that. Show them the same love. You rock with them like they rock with you. You feel what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. But, come on, it's just like I said, man. I was playing a quarter ticket before I ever met Gucci, man. And I met Gucci, man, way before people were talking about this. I was saying with Brick Squad, saying with Brick Squad. So, come on, man. That's old.
But there was a time where he did strongly consider signing to a label. And going on the strength of the clues he provided, it seems obvious that it was with The Rock. In various interviews after it went down, Dolph alluded to how he turned down a life-changing sum of money.
Man, I got myself in a fucked up ass situation, dog. I don't know what the fuck to do, dog. Now, I mean, really tell you the truth, I do know what to do, but I'm gonna let y'all know what's going on. But for the last 6 months, I've been having a motherfucking $22 million contract debating on should I do the deal or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, should I take the 22 million or fuck the 22 million? Fuck the 22 million.
Although he eventually decided to stay on his own grind, it wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision.
I turned down that 22M. You know what I mean? Well, I went to my lawyer office. We talked, we go over it. We had been going over it for like the past
2 weeks.
No, about 4 months.
Oh, all right.
The deal was good though. But I'm talking about on paper. We went over. It was what I had wanted. Like the structure of it, the whole. It was like, I'm gonna do it. And like, shit. Was it a joint venture 50-50 split? How was it?
Yes. You know what I mean? But when I signed it, I'm in my lawyer office. I'm like, I'm gonna sign it so she can send it back. Bro, I leave, pull her right back up, go right back up to her office, get the contract to fold and tell her, fuck this shit, I don't want to do this shit.
In the end, he let them down, but insisted that it was nothing personal. Instead, Dolph made the decision to bide his time instead of taking the lump sum and cutting another.
So listen, I think it's very interesting that these people, and this is the most interesting, at least for me, I've never heard of any of these people. I think I've heard of this Tory Lanez person because of his involvement with the incident with what's her name? I was about to say Nicki Minaj, but not Nicki Minaj. What's the girl's name? Megan Thee Stallion. That's how come I know about him. And even then, I still am very limited in my information. But the thing is, I find it very, very interesting that I don't know about none of these people, but these people were breaking enough ground and making enough money. When I say these people, I'm referring to these artists that this other content creator, Mr. Louaista, I'm not sure exactly how to say his name, but go to his channel, go like his videos and subscribe and everything. He has really good content. I stumbled upon his channel yesterday, and so I was like, I think he has a really good way of delivering information. So anyways, I find it very interesting that these young rappers, these young influencers on some level, they were already carving out whatever their greatness was. That's what it appears to me to have been. And doing it independently and seemingly making a whole shitload of money, because I don't understand how it would seem to me that a lot of people who want to make it big in whatever film, TV, in the entertainment industry, sports, whatever, the way it's painted is you always want to be connected to people who are already great or already appear that way. So for example, Jay-Z, right? He appears to be great. He appears to be the godfather of rap, which that I'm not saying that's what he is. I'm saying that's what he appears to be. Of the people that are left, he seems to be at the top, right? What do you say? I got the baddest bitch in the game wearing my chain, or however he says it, right? So he appears to be at the top. So it would seem to me, and I'm a lay person because I don't know anyone in the music industry like that. So I would think that, okay, well, if Jay-Z calls you, you probably want to sign whatever contract. But I find it very fascinating. It's very, very fascinating that these people, whoever all these rappers are, who seemingly were doing a really good job at being independent and still making, at least, I would say, close to millions or a few millions on their own. They were saying some stuff and doing some stuff that I never heard anybody else that's a mainstream rapper. I never heard them say, yeah, we were independent the first 3 years and we were making X amount of millions of dollars without the machine. So for this guy or these particular rappers to be coming in and being scouted by Jay-Z or Roc Nation or whomever and continuously telling this man no, that's interesting to me. They like, nah, and I'm into it. I'm like, yes. But I do find it very interesting that they're being courted by a mega superstar. I don't see Jay-Z as a mega superstar, but the world or parts of the world do see him as that. But I do see him as a gatekeeper. I do see him as a person that if you want to be in this industry, you probably got to, kiss the ring. But the way Mr. Louaista is laying out this information, it doesn't seem like these people are interested at all in kissing the ring. Not disrespecting Jay-Z, but they just like, nah, you're not giving me anything that I'm not already getting on my own. I'm already getting all of that on my own, and I don't have to give up my publishing. I don't have to give up my, what are you, listen, any relationship you're in, the person that you're in the relationship with or the entity should be additive to your life, meaning they add to your life and vice versa. And to me, what these rappers that Jay-Z have been courting all this time have basically said to him is you're not additive. So, okay, so you promoting me or you're putting me in touch with certain ads and I'm going to get certain, I'll be presented in a certain visual place because I have Jay-Z and Roc Nation attached to me. But what am I giving up to have that? And it sounds to me like these rappers are saying, I don't need that though. I'm good. I'm good over here with my millions of dollars. I don't need that. I'm good. And if I have to give you half my publishing, half this, half that, and you want my back catalog in order for me to be able to be, I'm good. And I salute that. Because I don't know that I would have been that person to be able to do that. And I'm a very strong, independent person. I don't know if I would have been like that. I feel like if somebody, like, let's say I was a good singer and you got Beyonce, right? That everybody on the planet knows, right? And she's saying, hey, I think you're great. And I've been out here grinding however long. I think you're great, Chanel. I think, you're great. You should come sign to Beyonce.com record, whatever it is, right? And we're going to make you a superstar. I feel like I would have believed it. Kind of like what Megan Thee Stallion, she's like, oh, it's such a real people and this and the third. And I ain't knocking Megan Thee Stallion. She's from Houston, Texas, where I'm from. And so is Beyonce, just shout out to the Houston Texans. But no, my point is, I don't know that I would have been able to say no to the alien superstar. I've been able to be sitting in front of the Beyonce or someone like that and say, no, I'm just not going to do it. I just don't know that I would be able to do that. So I think you got a lot of balls sorry guys. You got a lot of balls and a whole lot of backbone to say that, because I feel like I would have been overtaken by this superstar telling me she or he thinks, or this entity saying, we think you are great and we want to back you. But these other people, they're just like, yo, I'm already great. Great. So yeah, you would be definitely putting me in position to be in front of people that I might not necessarily, be able to get in front of for the next 10 years, the next 6 years because of where I am now. But I'm already making money. I'm already driving my Ferrari. I done already moved my mama out the ghetto. I already put a savings for my kids. I've already been able to do all of that without you. So again, what are you adding to this situation? It sounds like these rappers were saying to Jay-Z and Roc Nation, what are you adding to this situation? And Jay-Z and Roc Nation and them are saying, not much other than name recognition. So I think what these people like Roc Nation and these what do you call it? The record labels, they're still, to me, stuck in 1989, where they were basically slave to the label. So we give you all this upfront money, make you think that you done made it because you running around on tour and you doing this, that, and the third, but you a slave. What did Jadakiss say? Why is the industry designed to keep the artist in debt? He's right. And I think now these younger artists or these more prolific artists are saying, nah, I'm not signing this shady ass contract to give you my publishing that I've been working so hard on, all my masters and all this for the last 7-8 years that I've been grinding. I'm gonna give you half my publishing? Like, nah, I ain't doing that. So listen, I think what these young guys are doing or have done is it's futuristic, and I'm into it. Young Rice, aka Drip King, says truth, and then he says, you know, a lot of UK rappers are doing the independent thing now. Interesting. I don't know any UK rappers, but that's interesting. He says facts. And then he says, Young, aka Drip King, says, oh, he says it again. A lot of UK rappers' dream is to be into America. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so let's get back to it.
Partying.
It wasn't even no hard feelings. It wasn't nothing against them or none. It's like, I stand on this shit. I stamped this shit. A lot of people talk this shit. I stand on this shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, it didn't, like, okay, 22 million. What's the difference between you getting that 22 million at one time and you getting it over a 12-month span of time to an 18-month span of time?
Right.
What's the fucking difference?
Right.
What you finna do with it?
By August of 2020, Dolph was dominating his own wave, alongside his own projects popping off and Rich Slave becoming his highest charting album by peaking at number 4. He was beginning to make his way as a real label boss with Paper Route Empire too. But this would all be brought to a tragic halt in 2021 when he was gunned down in front of a Memphis cookie shop. The news broke the hearts of hip-hop fans all over the world and left his family and friends to pick up the pieces of what he was building. But what people didn't expect is that as posthumous tracks began to seep out, Dolph would actually mention his dealings with Roc Nation and his desire for a hoe feature too. Showing up, plain Jane Rolex, had a meeting with Roc Nation. But they got about 4, 5, 6 rappers over there that be hating. But I still fuck with Jigga. Tell him I got $2 million for him to do a verse, and if he don't, I still got love for him. In these bars, Dolph suggests that the reason why he didn't sign with Roc Nation is on the account of the fact that he had enemies on the roster. And now, the brother of someone who is on the Roc Nation roster has actually been cited as the man who put the hit out on Dolph, which just makes the whole thing seem to connect full circle. Again, this is not like 100% true, but it's really interesting.
Can I just say that I remember when Kanye was doing his album release party. And I didn't know this until years after Kanye became Kanye, right? But I remember him talking about he was doing his album release party. And if you do any background on Kanye, you know Kanye was that guy that was making beats, right? He was making beats for all kinds of people. He was making killer beats. And even I was watching Dame Dash the other day talking again, saying basically, Kanye, he said in his mind, Kanye still ain't a rapper. He's still a beats guy because Dame Dash can only see people one-dimensionally. He didn't say that, but that's what he said. I'm only still gonna see you as that. It's cool. It's sort of like it's akin to, in my opinion, people who are parents and your child grows up and your child becomes whatever they become. They're professional. They get married. They have kids, and then their kids have kids, and so now you have grandkids. But you still see your child, your adult child who's married with a house with 3.5 kids and they kids and grown up and gone to college too. You still see them as your child, like a baby, like a 12-year-old, like even though they didn't have sex and had a whole nother child of their own, that's how you view them. That's how Dame Dash, that's what I mean by Dame Dash is very one-dimensional in terms of how he sees other people. So if he sees you as a singer, that's all you are. If he sees you as a rapper, that's all you are. He saw Kanye as someone who made hype beats or good beats or whatever the case may be, right? So Dame Dash never took Kanye seriously, just like Jay-Z never took Kanye seriously, you know? And so Kanye was like, fuck all y'all. Excuse my French, but that's basically what he said. He was like, fuck all y'all. And I'm going to go have my album release party. He was doing it with or without them. He didn't give a shit. Because he understood his own greatness. And I feel like Jay-Z has the ability to make people feel that he gives a shit about them. Even if he is showing them he doesn't really. I think he has that ability because to me, he did that same exact thing with Dame Dash. Dame Dash still really, really still refuses to say that Jay-Z is a horrible human being. He still doesn't say it. Kanye, with all of the stuff that Jay-Z and Dame Dash didn't want to they did not want this man to release his album because they was like, he ain't a rapper. Not really. He's not a real rapper, so they wasn't supporting it. Until all of a sudden, everybody like, yeah, we're going to Kanye release party. And then they're like, oh shit, I guess we need to go. And the rest is history. Now, I'm not getting Kanye back. Let me be very, very clear. This is very specific when I'm talking about Kanye, because Kanye is very problematic in a million different ways. But I'm saying that to say, Jay-Z has this way, in my opinion, just from these two people, they have this way, he has this way of, they know that he's with the shits, meaning he is just not on their team in the way that they think he is. They know that. And even when they find it out, they still really never say anything very bad about Jay-Z. Still. Kanye on the stage in Paris or wherever the hell he was when he was on that thing running around. It was like some lifted thing in the air over the crowd. On the stage talking about Jay-Z. He said, I know you got killers. Please don't send them in my head. He still ain't said this man is a bad person. You don't get on stage in front of thousands of people and say that you know this man got killers. What that means is this person, Jay-Z, that you associate with is not a bad person. It's not the same as saying, Jay-Z, I know that you have known people in your past that have, anger problems or have a criminal history for violence. He didn't say that. He said, I know you got killers. To me, that sounded like, I know that you could disappear me, Mr. Jay-Z. I'm Kanye West, but you still could disappear me. That's what it sounded like to me. It sounded like you could send some people to make me come have some fake aneurysm or suddenly die of low-bar pneumonia in a first world country. That's what it sounded like Kanye was saying, in my opinion. It sounded like you're not a good guy and you associate with people who aren't good guys. And you're so powerful that you could do that and nobody would bat an eye. I could come up missing. I'm a whole ass Kanye West. I done sold millions of albums. I'm rocking around here with a clothing line with holes in it. And I got people to pay $1,000 for these tennis shoes with holes in it. And I'm married to one of the other most famous people on the planet. Her name's Kim Kardashian. And yet I'm still scared of you. I still know that you can make me come up missing. Today on Chanel's Reality, honey, we talking about all the faces of Jay-Z. And listen, I never thought Jay-Z was some prolific rapper. I think he has a significant number of hits. One of my favorite is the Empire, the Empire State of Mind or whatever it is, that one he did with Alicia Keys. That's a banger. Love Big Pimpin'. And it's a few others where I'm like, okay. But honestly, my first introduction to Jay-Z was that It's a Hard Knocks Life. And I was 18 years old on my way on a, coach bus on our way to Disney World for senior trip or whatever it was. And honestly, the best song on there, DMX was featuring. What did he say? DMX and my dog's bite. Like that boy killed Jay-Z on his own track, in my opinion. But I never felt like Jay-Z was this prolific, just this guy that just, there's so many people that I would put in front of him for the greatest. And if you really want to talk about it, want to be real about it, the greatest still living, Eminem. Eminem could never see, Jay-Z could never see Eminem. Not ever. Not ever. Not ever, 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 ever. Not ever. He couldn't battle rap Jay-Z. I mean, he couldn't battle rap Eminem. Honestly, if you really want to talk about it, Jay-Z really can't even see Kanye. My opinion. It's a whole bunch of rappers in line before him that I would say are much greater. I'm not going to say they're the greatest, but much greater for sure. And yet, I don't know who these people are. I guess, because I was going to say, I don't know who these people are who are running around talking about he the greatest, he the GOAT. No. I would put, and I don't even have, I've never bought an album of these people. But what's that? What's the people that's I like the way you move. This, listen, Jay-Z has him and Kanye have an arrogant, well, really, Jay-Z, Kanye, and Dame, they all have that same problem, which is they're arrogant. let's just call it what it is. They all think they're better than everybody else. Stop me when I'm lying about something. The difference is between the three is that Kanye actually is a creative mind. He's crazy as fuck, but he still is actually a creative mind. And in my opinion, all of Kanye's albums have been better than all of Jay-Z's albums. Every Jay-Z album, I've only ever had one, but every Jay-Z album had maybe one or two songs where I was like, okay, he got it. You know, this is a banger. Kanye, song after song after song. I ain't saying she a gold digger. You know, like I said, they all three of them are very narcissistic, in my opinion. How much more narcissistic can you be than Dame Dash getting on a whole ass Breakfast Club and telling DJ Envy, you got a boss. I'm not gonna call no other man a boss. That's my interpretation of Dame Dash. How much more narcissistic can you be than saying I'm a whole ass genius and you are not a member of Mensa, Kanye West? That's Kanye. He run around the earth telling everybody he's a genius. They don't understand he's a mastermind. He a genius. I guess this is the thing. If you're beautiful, you don't have to run around telling people you're beautiful. If you're a genius, you don't have to run around telling, people you're a genius. They'll tell you. Period. Then you got Jay-Z claiming he's Hova. Hova means God. And I know the New York people out there will be like, well, whatever. I'm the God it is. Charlemagne the God. Charlemagne has to say he's Charlemagne the God because he's named after a woman. He's supposed to have been a girl. That's why he calls himself Charlemagne the God. What are you the God of? You a sellout. You a sellout, Charlemagne, that has said vocally that he raped his wife before she was his wife. He said that this is Charlemagne the God that's calling him a God. Charlemagne or Girlemagne, whatever his name is, right? He went on some show. I can't remember exactly where it was, but go and listen, go look it up. He said that his girlfriend at the time would not have sex with him. He dated her for a year and she still didn't have sex with him. So what he did was he said one night they were drunk. She was more drunk than him. This is what he's alleging. That his wife, the lady that is now his wife, at the time was just his girlfriend, but she refused to have sex with him. But wherever they were, she was sloppy drunk and not coherent. So therefore, if you were not coherent, if you were under the influence of drugs or alcohol to the point where you can't walk, you don't know what is happening, you're knocked the fuck out, you can't consent. So then all of a sudden he's supposedly having this awareness. Oh my God. Now I didn't know, but I was raised on rape culture. No, you wasn't. You made a fucked up ass decision. You're a rapist. Because he said that because his girlfriend was knocked the fuck out and wasn't coherent, none of that. He had sex with her because that was going to be his way to have sex with her. Because if she was conscious and not under the influence of alcohol, and if you ask me, he probably put something in her drink. That's my opinion here on Chanel's Reality, just based on the rape culture that he said he was raised on. And the fact that he said on another live or another interview that he would put something in someone's drink. He said that out of his mouth. So let's call it what it is. Rape. Then he said he went and asked his now wife at the time, did you consider that? Because that's rape, right? I raped you, right? And I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. Yet this man still has a whole ass platform. How does that happen exactly? He has a whole ass platform saying he was raised on rape culture, saying that he said that somebody should have put something in that girl's drink, saying that he basically raped his wife. This is what Charlemagne said. Because she wouldn't have sex with him for the whole year that they were together. She wouldn't have sex with me. So when she was knocked out, I fucked her, essentially. And now Jay-Z is suddenly getting all kinds of passes, and so is Diddy. Charlemagne had said once he saw that video of Diddy beating the brakes off of Cassie, he was like, "Oh no, you know what I'm saying? If that was my daughter, you know what I'm saying? He would basically saying that he would unalive that man." That's what Charlemagne said. Now, well, you know, he went on the View talking about, well, you know, Diddy is, you know, this is not about that. This is about domestic violence. And no. It's assault. Let's call it what it is. I don't give a shit where it happened. I don't give a shit because it's between a man and a woman. It's domestic violence. No, it's assault. That's what it is. Stop trying to sugarcoat it. It's assault. Let's call it what it is. Let's stop trying to change people's mind frame and say, oh, that's them and their problem. Anytime somebody wants to call it domestic violence, that's what they're saying. They're intimating. That's those people's problems. That's where the term comes from. That's them. Those people's problems. That isn't the rest of us. If a man walks up to a woman in Applebee's and beats her up, they're not going to call it, when they call it in, they're not going to say it's domestic violence. They're going to say he came in here and assaulted this lady. Period. Let's stop trying to change the words for because the assault is happening to a woman that has happened to have a relationship with this person. The relationship has no bearing on whether or not this person has been assaulted. Let's call it what it is. Stop beating around the bush with it. But anyways, now Charlemagne the God, suddenly he can't find fault. He can't find fault in Jay-Z. He can't find fault in what Diddy has done. And I can guarantee you, Charlemagne knows exactly what Diddy's done. But he can't find. He needs to make it about this man's mental wellness. It's really, really irritating as a person who works with people who have mental illness and knows that this behavior, this sexual deviant behavior, that doesn't have anything to do with the people who are suffering from depression and anxiety and other things like that. That, what Diddy has been accused of, is called being evil. Be very clear. That is evil behavior. It's very calculated. And that doesn't mean just because, you know, you have a mental illness that you can't be manipulative or that you can't be, you can definitely 100% be both. But stop trying to muddy the waters and say, oh, this is just this man, he's just dealing with his, his father was killed when he was a baby and his mom was this, that, and other. Stop it. Knock it all the way off. We're not giving passes to sexual deviants, to people who will go on TV and say that at his parties, this is what Diddy said when he was on Conan O'Brien, I believe. He said out of his mouth, yeah, so at our parties, when we bring the girls in the room, we lock the door. What? Conan was like, yeah, I think that's bordering on, something illegal here. Because it is illegal. That's called kidnapping. And then if you're assaulting her, that's a second crime in the commission of one. Like, what are you talking about? But yeah, Charlemagne the God is on there. Charlemagne the God is on there talking about, what? He has mental. No, he's a savage. Let's just call it what it is. Stop trying to sugarcoat it. I cannot with the people that just really want to give this man a chance. Drip King says, wow, well, that's what you're gonna get on the Chanel's reality over here. Anyway, it's the hypocrisy for me. It's the changing. Now all of a sudden, because I noticed it was a few years back when Jay-Z went on the Breakfast Club, and I'm not a person that watches the Breakfast Club daily, monthly, yearly. I'm not that person. But for whatever reason, this day I happened to stumble upon the Breakfast Club and Jay-Z was on there. And when I say Charlemagne, Girlemagne, the God was over there kissing, listen, he was kissing Jay-Z's ass. Because we know you the greatest. And I'm like, listen, I'm just not that girl. I'm not that girl. You'll never listen. I am not impressed by the fact that you rolling around in a Bentley or a G-Wagon or a Rolls. Like, that's not impressive to me. I think it's cool. And I'd probably ask you, I'd be congratulating you. And how did you do that? Because I want to, but that isn't impressive to me. What's impressive to me is your humanity. What are you doing in your community to help uplift other people? Are you being kind to those around you? Are you being helpful to your brother, your sister, your cousin, your uncle, your neighbor? That, to me, that's impressive. It's impressive to me to say, you know, my father was unalived by a police officer, so now I want to go into, you know, I want to go and be an FBI agent so that I can, you know, investigate and root out, you know, this type of behavior. Or I want to be an attorney now because my mom didn't have enough money for an attorney, so now I want to go. Like, that's impressive to me. Or I didn't, you know, my sister was had mental illness, so I'm going to school so that I can help understand what mental illness is, and I can diagnose it and stuff like that. Or I'm, you know, my mom died of AIDS, and so I want to go into research with AIDS. That, to me, that shit is impressive because you're doing something beyond yourself. It isn't only about you. It's about educating yourself and helping everyone else. That is impressive. The fact that you can sing, that didn't even have nothing to do with you. Okay, be very clear. That's a gift from God. That isn't something you have to actually work for. It is a gift from God. Just like, okay, so you're tall and beautiful. Again, that didn't have nothing to do with you. That came from your parents or your grandparents or wherever it came from. It didn't have nothing to do with you. You arrived here this way. So you being a model, okay, great. I'm glad that you're beautiful and whatever. Now, if you say you went and became an actor, or you became an engineer, or you became a teacher, whatever else, right? Those things require intelligence, require you to be able to do something. It's a skill that you're learning. So that means you didn't arrive here this way. This is not something that you just know how to do. And because you didn't know how to do something and you work towards it, and now you're able to X, Y, and Z, and this impacts the world and makes the world a better place, even if it's only in your community, that's impressive. I think it's impressive that, you know, Jay-Z and the rappers and whomever else, you know, can put the beats together and make us, you know, feel good through the music and whatever else. I'm not knocking that. What I am knocking is how you're sitting up here on your little high rise, whatever, and acting as if you're better than me because you know how to rap. You're not. You know how to rap and I don't. Okay. But what are you doing for the world? Absolutely nothing. Yes, you're providing artistic whatever, right? So yes, you're doing that. But I'm saying, what are you really doing? And from what these people, these different artists that are out here making it on their own, whenever they seem to get approached by people like by Jay-Z or Rock Nation, they seem to be like, nah, I'm good. So that lets me know, or at least it signals or infers that being with Rock Nation ain't where it's at. And I also think that's why Nicki Minaj is pissed. Because I was like, remember when Nicki was on that, she was on a rampage? She was on a rampage on Twitter. I was like, wait. I thought Nicki was, you know what I'm saying? What did Nicki say? Every hood nigga is, what's his dream is about having sex with Beyonce and Nicki or something, Nicki and B or something. I don't know. I thought this for a little while. Now I know Jay-Z done went and messed that whole thing up. Now they not besties. Because I'm like, once you come for her man, yeah, her baby daddy, you can't really recover from that, Nicki. Especially considering your baby daddy, sis. I'm just saying. And I love Nicki Minaj and I love Beyonce to a certain degree. But I'm saying, neither one of y'all really, there's no returning from that. Because listen, I'm married. I've been married for almost 20 years. Come still about me, about my husband. We don't play. We all going to jail today. I don't play them type of games. Shout out. And neither does my husband. So we're not doing that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, once you come out there and you say Jay-Z, she basically was calling Jay-Z all kinds of assholes and isn't a reputable person, is a horrible, like, to me, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. So now Nicki and B can't ever make music together because Jay-Z is an asshole, allegedly. Just saying. So I'm like, damn. But I do think that's why Nick, because I feel like Nicki feels like they were swindled. Remember when they had that whole when Jay-Z did the whole, oh my God, what is it called? It was like Apple Pay, not Apple Pay. It was like Apple Music. Is it Apple Music? He came out with some sort of streaming service, and I think it was supposedly to help all kinds of, it was really supposed to be kind of like FUBU, for us, by us, right? Remember FUBU? Okay, it's supposed to be like that, I think. But it was supposed to be regarding music. So it was like, this is a platform where the artists, not these big labels, can, make their money from streaming. And then he had Nicki on there. I think he had, was Lady Gaga on there? It was some other heavy hitters that were on that stage. And then he went and sold it to some other white company or white man or something. And they turned it into something else. So I think Nicki's pissed about that because she isn't getting the money she was promised, which is understandable. But I think that's the point. And that's the point of this video, all the faces of Jay-Z. Let us see who you really are, because the Jay-Z that I know is a guy who has a very violent past because he's been arrested for violent actions, but he's pretending, he's masquerading as this mogul who is this just creative genius and the greatest rapper that ever lived, when I don't think that's the case. Listen, they all dirty and they all down there playing in the mud. And at the end of the day, you could put all kinds of dresses and lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. If you stabbing people in the club, something's wrong with you. If you are pow-powing your brother with a pew-pew and you're not even 18 years old, something is wrong with you. If you have no problem with hanging around with people who are sex offenders like Jay-Z, who are raping little girls and marrying them at 15 years old, and he's like almost 30, and you don't have no problem with me, you don't have no problem with them, that's problematic. And you tell your boy Dame Dash, allegedly, when he says, why are you doing a record with this dude? He raped my girl. And you say they don't have nothing to do with me? I'm just about to make this money. It's problematic. You have a whole bunch of different faces. And I'm afraid that Beyonce has seen a few of these faces. Because if y'all go back to that I don't know what awards it was, but Beyonce, she's been running around in a leotard for about the past 15 years, seemed like. And she had on this, it looked like it was like a blue, it looked like glass all over her leotard. It was pretty. And I remember she came up on the stage to either accept an award. She was coming up there for something. Jay-Z was the person saying something. He was the one at the microphone, and he had Blue Ivy. And Blue Ivy was a baby. So this had to be in like maybe 11 years ago, because I think she's like 12. And Blue Ivy had been like a year or two, maybe years old. I don't know exactly how old she was. But Beyonce went in because she saw her baby and she wanted to kiss her baby. And then here comes Jay-Z. And so she kind of felt like, okay, fine, I got to kiss him. But you could tell she was not with it. Not at all. I was like, ooh, what the fuck he do? And so people have been running around the earth saying for a while, they not really together. They not. Da, 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 da. I don't know if that's true or not. But I do think that Beyonce is another person who has been swindled by Jay-Z and his many faces. Because it's been reported that he was physically violent to one of the fans backstage or something. I don't know exactly what happened, but apparently he had punched this lady in the face that was a fan. I wasn't there. I don't know none of these people, so I don't know, but you've shot your brother. You stabbed this man in a club, allegedly. You beat some woman in the backstage of your concert. I don't know that it's very far-fetched to say that you would do similar things to Beyonce if she doesn't act right. Maybe that's why that uncle guy said, you know, yeah, Beyonce's on drugs, and you keep her that way. That's what that uncle guy said. And then like a year later, he's no longer alive. What happened to him? Anybody know? Because I don't know. They swear that one girl, I forget her name, but she's no longer alive either. She was allegedly pregnant with Jay-Z's baby. I think she's friends with Claudia Jordan. But allegedly, this lady was pregnant and was gonna tell everybody, allegedly. And then she just suddenly died of she's some healthy young girl. Just died of a brain aneurysm, allegedly. I don't know. But I don't believe that the face that Jay-Z shows us is his real face. And that's why I'm doing this video. But let's keep listening to what this young man has to say. He's done a deep dive.
When defendant Cornelius Smith took to the stand to expose what really went down on the day of Dolph's killing, he provided the motive for the crime by stating that Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke, who had since passed on too, greenlit the killing. In response, Shelby County Assistant District Attorney Paul Hagerman declared that Big Juke, the person I told you about before, the number 2 guy at CMG, he put out a hit, $100,000 to whoever kills Dolph. He met with Justin, he has met with Cornelius, and they think they're ready to do it. Considering that Dolph and Gotti were in a feud for years that could merit an entire video of its own, it's no surprise that the PRE leader felt a way about Jay standing by Gotti. But now, things look like they might get really complicated. It's about to get dicey, since he said Juke put out the hit. If they can trace the payment back to anything related to Gotti, he might be in some shit. While Gotti probably isn't complaining, getting concrete evidence to say that he specifically asked for it is probably not going to happen. If they'd gotten Dolph on the roster, Roc Nation would have had one of the biggest names in the South at their disposal, and would certainly reap the rewards. But that wasn't the only cultural leader that they were after who has since passed on. Because for a while, they were after the signature of a man who had the youth hanging on his every word. From the outset of his career, XXXTentacion was an individual who captured the public's imagination. On early tracks like Look at Me, the Floridian rapper laid out the blueprint for a whole new approach to the game, which fascinated everyone who encountered it. So much so that labels were ready to immediately overlook the fact that he was in jail and facing domestic abuse charges, eagerly reaching out to gauge interest in signing him, including none other than Roc Nation. In an interview after the fact, a former roommate of Roc Nation revealed that while he was locked up, they reached out to try and get him to sign a deal.
I was on the phone with Roc Nation, and I was on a fucking call with an AR from Roc Nation. This nigga was like, yo, we trying to sign X. And I remember like talking to X, fucking phone calls from jail with the people that's like calling him to make deals with him, trying to sign him to, wherever, trying to sign him to a label. I was on the phone with Roc Nation. He was like, yo, we trying to sign X. And that was like one of the biggest deal offerings that he had. So I was trying to get him on the phone. And X was
For a lot of people, this would have been a golden opportunity. But for an artist like X, this wasn't feasible for him, as taking the deal meant sacrificing his vision or his masters.
X didn't want to sign with nobody. He felt like his ass is too good, and that's okay. As an artist, you're definitely entitled to feel like that, because if you don't want to be tied down to no damn record label and you got to do what you got to do for them, you want to do what you got to do for yourself, you're entitled to do that for yourself. So I could understand that. He was like, yo, I don't want to sign, but I was like, damn, this is a big ass deal.
Over time, XXXTentacion stayed on his independent grind and eventually signed a distribution deal with Empire, which was worth millions. However, there's no telling how big that bag could have been if he took Hov's offer on board. Still, it seems like this was an instance where Jay understood. For starters, it's believed that he prevented Vic Mensa, who called him an abuser during what has now become one of the most controversial freestyles, from dissing X while the rapper was still alive.
I was dissing another rapper really for no reason. Wow. And that really just kind of shifted my perspective on it. And I'm like, I don't need to be tearing down another young black man, regardless of if I like the music or not. It's like we have so much opposition outside of our community trying to eat off of us and parasites just trying to feed off of our energy, and there's no need for us to be tearing each other down. We got to be more unified than that.
As you probably know by now, XXXTentacion would sadly be killed in his hometown during a robbery outside a motorsports dealership. Once again, the world was left in shock, and this time, Jay-Z referenced his outrage over what happened to X within his feature on Drake's Talk Up in 2018. I got your president tweeting, I won't even meet with him. Y'all killed X and let Zimmerman live. Streets are done. As the news that Roc Nation wanted to sign him emerged, fans had an interesting response to it. Because for some people, they felt like it could have preserved his life by relocating him out of his hometown. And sadly, there's no way of knowing how things could have played out. Meanwhile, other rappers who turned down Roc Nation have seen their attempts to cross over into the US market stall. Just look at the case of Nasty C. Ever since he first emerged, South Africa's Nasty C has been killing it in his home nation ever since his mixtape days. Despite never landing on the US charts, he became renowned to the extent that he secured features from the likes of Benny the Butcher, French Montana, Lil Keed, Ari Lennox, T.I., and many more. But while this is impressive for him to have managed under his own steam, he could have had the Roc Nation checkbook behind him. Back in 2016, rumors were swirling around that he was in talks with Roc Nation to come aboard their team. But rather than just say no, Nasty decided to blow the whistle on how they deal with their signees. I don't want an average Roc Nation contract, he said. I don't want a set standard record deal. I want something different. I've seen the language they use in contracts, and I've seen enough people get blindsided, so I'm cautious about contracts. Maybe I've just got my guard up. While it's unclear exactly what went down, Nasty C speculated that he was warned by 50 Cent, who became somewhat of a mentor to him, to stay away from Hov and Diddy.
It wasn't even that deep. No, we didn't even talk about none of that. We just spoke about regular shit. Cars, jewelry, life, niggas being fake, bitches, all that type of shit.
Niggas being fake. Who be fake?
A lot of people.
Rather than take the offer that was on the table, Nasty C decided to stick to his guns. But it might have had unintended consequences. Because now, his supporters point to the fact that he rejected Roc Nation as the reason why he never broke through. And that's one of the main reasons why Nasty C hasn't won a Grammy Award. That's why things are not easy for him overseas. Through Nasty C, we get a sense that sometimes people take a look at the contract and immediately run the other way. And as it turns out, he's really not the only one. Among the legends of the Bay Area, Oakland's Filthy Rich had a massive amount of momentum at one stage and has dropped a truly prolific amount of music over the years. More impressively, he did it all independently, and this ensured that he managed to keep every cent of his earnings to himself. And Roc Nation took note of his success to the point that they tried to sign him. However, Filthy immediately said no because they wanted to get their hands on music that they wanted nothing to do with, and basically tried to sign him to a 360.
They wanted to do a deal with me with Roc Nation, but they wanted all my back catalog. It's damn near a 360 deal. I'm like, no, we could start from here, because they was trying to say that they was gonna bring, this was the management side, that they was gonna bring the labels and these placements and these looks and all this bigger shit. That's the only thing I've never done is sign a major deal. So I was with it for like an album or something to see how it worked. And then, they didn't want to do it that way. They wanted to do it this way. They want a piece of touring and merch and everything. So luckily I didn't do it, because right after that, the pandemic hit. So it wasn't even no touring. So if I would have signed that, they would have just been getting paid off my back catalog that they had nothing to do with. And I wouldn't ever been got paid for no shows, because I wouldn't be able to do nothing. So luckily I didn't. You get what I'm saying?
Shockingly, he's not alone in this either, because Sauce Walka has a very similar story. The Texas-based rapper had a major come up in the mid-2010s, dropping tape after tape via his own Sauce Factory imprint. Similar to the approach with Filthy, Roc Nation set their sights on the Haitian rapper, but their demands for a larger share of his earnings were more than what he was willing to agree to.
Jay had his people reach out to me, and we all got on the call and shit, and we all talked about it, and, you know what I'm saying, and they sent me over some contracts, and with Roc Nation, it was a cool deal, $5 million management deal, but they still wanted ownership with the catalog too, though. I just didn't want to strictly do management and touring and shows and like other sorts of publishing, like that type of revenue without the catalog. They wanted my entire catalog to be moved over and whoopty wham, and that's just something that I always never been comfortable with, because I'm an artist that came in guns swinging. So I recorded a lot of albums every year that I released.
Since then, Sauce's career has had its fair share of ups and downs, including a whole succession of legal issues. Despite this, one of the drippiest rappers to ever live insists that he's always getting money regardless.
Then we got the corporate stakes right here. We stacks, we got ones, You got 20s. 20s. I have one. The 50s, 10s, you know what I'm saying? Then we got them. 10, 20, 30. All blue. Blue Cruise. Blue Cruise, man. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? We ride around with 100. We ride around like that. Naturally. Hey, I'm going straight to hearing. Every time I get paid, I'm going to hearing and I'm getting laid. Oh, it was another. Oh, damn. That was another. You forget about money. I am the great one.
At every turn, these stories depict Roc Nation as a company who are capable of pulling off shady maneuvers. And sometimes, rappers catch them in the act just in time. According to LaRussell, they tried to pull a slick move on him, and he was incredibly lucky that he noticed before he put the pen to paper.
Roc Nation, man, they just did some funny shit. They sent me an offer, and the first one was the terms, but then it had no money attached to it. It was just a $15,000 discretionary fund. You're gonna deliver these projects under these terms, 10% 360, $15K discretionary fund, that's yours. I went to the office, and like, what you think? What you gonna do? And I'm like, bruh, where's the money? Like, where the numbers? Right? He's like, what you mean? And I'm like, bro, it's only 15K. And he's like, oh, no, this ain't it. He makes a call. He's like, yo, it ain't no numbers on the offer. They sent a new offer in like 30 seconds. The new offer was much larger, but by that time I was turned off. If I would have signed this 15K, would you have told me you made a mistake? And then you made a $750,000 mistake? I don't want to do business with niggas who make mistakes that big. You gonna fuck my business up, right? But I just felt like that was hella slimy and it wasn't a great representation. And that's why I was like, I gotta holler at Hov, because I got, do you know your niggas moving like this? Right. And if you do, I see, it's good. I see you, but I just felt disrespectful.
While these stories are damning in the face of many rappers who ignored their attempts to sign cause suspicion, there are others who have prospered after turning down Roc Nation. In fact, they seem mindful that they dodged a bullet by managing to avoid signing to the company without sacrificing the relationship with Jay-Z. Mentioned by Jay's longtime friend and collaborator Ty, St. John opened up about why he didn't sign to the company and said that betting on himself was among the best decisions he's ever made.
And by the 36th month, we should have a hit record, right? Based on the plan. It was a real plan.
Nowadays, they want you to come in. Ain't no A&R. You got to come with.
You got to know it's you.
So how you do business with Jay and Roc Nation now?
I didn't. We ain't
Why?
Why? It wasn't the right thing at the right time.
Y'all still talk?
Yeah, we all got a great relationship.
But why you don't do business with Jay? Like,
I think everybody that you got a great relationship with ain't somebody you got to do business with.
That's true too.
And sometimes you just
wait
on
timing too, though.
The timing is the most important thing. Yeah. Because at the time, Ty was like, yo, whatever you want to do, we want to do. So if you want to do management, we're down to do management. You want to do publishing? We want to do publishing. You want to do sign to the label? We can do that. I said, look, I'm be honest with you, I don't want to do nothing. I want to do it myself. I said that and I meant it. I'm like, I just want to do it myself. It's cool.
Now, he's doing his thing and even squashed his beef with Roc Nation signee Lil Uzi, which resulted in a fight at a diner over a girl at this year's star-studded brunch. Another prime example of using Roc Nation on your terms is Tyler, the Creator. Long before they ever collabed on biking alongside Frank Ocean, the Odd Future leader was summoned to Hov's home where he tried to blindside him with a deal, but instead, he chose to keep control over his career.
That nigga invited us to one of his LA homes. We ate some tacos and he wanted to sign us. It was crazy. A lot of people were just interested and was like, yo, let's try to do something, But like, I'm like, I don't know. Nah, I just want creative control and then do everything.
After he came forward with this story, people were very happy that he made the call. Very good move for Tyler. But that wasn't the end of their interactions, and in the years since, he's taken Jay's help on his terms.
Going to that man's house is just enough to just be like, oh, you could do this. You could like be a fuck up, figure it out, be good, be great, and do that. And like, bro, that man's what, 51? Bro, he has the spirit of an excited 16-year-old at basketball camp. Seriously, like
about everything.
He's just fun and like he's ageless. Like I don't know how to explain it. That man is.
Well, I know he's dialed into everything. I know he really loves the culture, like constant.
Bro, he's a geek, and that's why geeks are so important.
When it comes to Roc Nation, it seems like this may be the best way to operate because sometimes you sign with them and you still don't get what you want. Just look at Lil Wayne. Back when Weezy was struggling with cash money, Roc Nation and TODO assisted in the release of the Free Weezy album. Wayne appreciated this immensely, and he even pledged allegiance to the team in 2017 during a show in Pennsylvania. But even after doing all of that, he was still denied what he truly desired, and that was the Super Bowl. It's been one of the biggest stories of this year, with people wondering what happened to make Jay-Z skip over Wayne, getting his wish to perform in his hometown in favor of Kendrick Lamar. And if you want to find out more about that whole situation and how Weezy hasn't exactly handled it best, you can click one of the 2 videos on the screen. It's your boy louaista, and I want to thank all of y'all for watching today's video. If you guys did like it, make sure you drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I don't got nothing against Eminem. I don't want to go through, I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want, for 22 years, every time I do an interview, they ask me about Eminem.
Oh, Lordy, guys, I'm sorry. I was on mute. I'm so sorry. So like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about this video and all the different faces of Jay-Z. Do you think that it's interesting that a lot of people either ended up no longer here or extremely unsuccessful or not as successful as they may have been simply because they weren't able to sign with Jay-Z or wanted to keep all of their publishing and things like that and not wanting to essentially allow a label to take over everything and give them whatever they think they're worth? Anyway, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification button. It's a free and easy way to support my channel. Talk to you guys later. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye, guys.